And Carol is here.
I know.
Show you the restroom.
Absolutely. Do you know where it is?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, it's good to see you, Bill.
Good to see you too, David.
How are you, Carol?
Okay.
How are you, Carol?
I'm pretty good.
Oh,
Can you
good.
hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear?
How's your spinning head?
Uh, I had a pretty good day yesterday and so
Oh.
far today.
Maybe improvement.
Maybe, I don't know. That's just spontaneous
Yeah.
because I really haven't done anything or, taken anything or seen anybody or whatever. So
Good.
they are going to do a fancy test on me.
A what?
To a fancy test.
Oh.
Visual nystagmus.
Something or other.
Something or other that should indicate whether I have inner ear problems.
Uh-huh.
I've done it before. It involves making me dizzy
Uh,
and watching my eye movements and
huh.
uh, so
I obviously was very lucky years ago when I had a serious uh, bout of, and like you, I could drive without
yeah,
much.
well, your driving feels the safest because I'm fairly stable and my head is not bending or anything.
Yeah. But it was my chiropractor that diagnosed my inner ear problem and actually gave me a homeopathic remedy that worked very well.
Okay.
So that was a lucky one because I don't think that's always the case.
No, well, I used, a variety of different maneuvers, the Epley maneuver and the Brandt maneuver
Yeah.
to readjust the crystals in there, and that seemed to work
Uh-huh.
those years ago, and it's helped this time too. But I thought I was rid of it last week, and then all of a sudden it showed up again, which surprised me.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Well,
The last really big time was in China, actually, on the Great Wall. And I was
Oh, great.
looking up a stretch of the Great Wall, and I just said, "Oh my God!" and I had to sit down. Um, there's plenty of room on the Great Wall.
Yes,
so
there is.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
But it just came over me, and fortunately, I had friends there, and they took my arms and guided me back down. Yeah, I was wobbly. Yeah, so
That's terrible. Did it go away?
yeah. That there was a actually there was a physical therapist on that trip who was also a pilot, and he said he had vertigo. And I said, as a pilot, he said, well, I've had to address the issue, and he gave me the eye movement exercises,
Yeah.
which involve, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
so.
Uh, how are things in your life, Carol?
Well, fairly busy.
Yes, I gather.
Every day has at least one, usually two or three things going on. So I saw Shelley yesterday.
Oh, how was Shelley yesterday?
Um, well, okay. She's losing more of her strength, more of her left hand,
Yeah.
which is a problem. So they're hoping to get an eye a computer that will respond to her eye movement,
Ah,
because her tablet that she uses, it's getting harder for her to reach it and to move it to have it
Yeah.
have her spill things out. The ALS Marchathon or whatever it is in 2 weeks, I think, on a Saturday.
mm-hmm,
Not next week, the week after,
yeah,
in Hartford, and they're planning to go to that.
yeah, well, good.
And her sister did a barbecue fundraiser, and they went to that and had a good time. So
Good.
she's been able to get out to Harkness once and to the Hole in the Wall boardwalk,
Uh-huh.
because her wheelchair is very mobile.
Sorry, I am my usual late.
It's okay, yeah.
So good to see you. Oh, look at this. The whole crew is here. Almost. Carol,
Well, Carol's on.
she's on her
I'm here.
way. And
She's
you
on the
made it.
screen.
You made it through Middletown and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, I had to go to Middletown the day after.
Day.
How are you?
Good.
Great. Good.
Good to see you. Great to see you too.
Yeah, I had to go through Middletown the day after we had that conversation,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty funny. But I went over the bridge to Portland.
No, actually, the bridge was open. both
Carol,
ways this morning.
let Shelley know that her old Tai Chi friends think of her.
Yes, I do tell her whenever I see her.
Yes.
Anyone who wanted to come visit, she would be glad of it. Her hospice nurse comes Tuesdays and Thursdays at about 10:30, which is why we can't do our Negung class anymore. Whoops.
Mm.
But she responds to text.
Yep.
That's probably the easiest thing for her.
Oh,
Oh.
Good.
So
Well, it's nice to see real people.
I know.
I wish I
can't
could be there, but John has an appointment in Norwich at 11. And
Yeah,
I was figuring, well, I could run out there and turn around and come back.
yeah.
yeah.
Or just be there,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
Probably better where you are.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could try this again and let Bill sit in my seat and I can sit in his.
Yeah.
That'll
That's
be good.
true.
That'll be
Yeah,
good.
and then we could do the form together. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easier for you and I when, yeah.
Well, it's nice to be in this space and see little things like the record.
Did you record? Are you recording?
I am recording. Poor Adam, who is just almost never can be with us, even on Zoom.
Yeah.
I have talked to him several times, and he said, "Please keep recording." He said, "I am practicing."
Great.
So he is continuing to be a part of this as much as he can.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, and I find going back over some of the recordings are very helpful.
Oh,
So that's important. Yeah.
I'm glad to be able that you have those links, because I'm going to be stopping before terribly long. We're coming. Actually, there is really only one more major teaching that I can do in this practice. But I think you have a lot to work on.
Yeah, it's not like
We have a
yeah.
lot to work on, yeah. And you can't do it all every time.
Yeah.
No.
You can do like
Especially
that.
That's the
last
challenge.
year, you've really covered a lot of
Yeah.
sophisticated territory,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah, right.
hand up, hand down.
Right.
I like that word, sophisticated, Bill. Get a little deeper here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little.
A lot more.
Okay, well.
happy to see us.
Yeah, really. Wow.
You could hear it today, Bill.
Yes.
Perfectly, yes.
So, I am planning to kind of reserve some time to work on 7.
Thank
so-
you.
So,
Yeah.
because I know that's an issue for everyone. But what else do you need to focus on or have questions about?
Not that I have a focus, but when I'm going through the form, I think it's so good to hear again, what channels the energies are going through, and where we're making the connections, as we, reverse the twisting and make the connections. So,
Okay.
that and transitions is something I've been trying to soften the transitions around them more.
Indeed, and to be very, just clearly aware of them.
Yeah.
So many of them are, well, basically 2 is simply moving the energy through the body. It is just getting everything going. With 3, you have pretty specific focus of moving the energy. It's moving principally through the left and right channels, and elsewhere in the body. And that's one thing that to remember is that even when we focus on the energy moving through the left and right and center channels, it is also moving through the rest of the body at the same time. So when we talk about the energy going up the left and right channels, it's going from below your feet to above your head. And that's true obviously with the central channel also. With 4, we're pretty much just going up and down the left and right channels and making sure we're clearly moving through the etheric body. And then of course when we hit 5, we're going up the center and down the side, and 6 is up the side and down the center, which reverses the breathing. And with 7, you're also doing pretty much, we talked about that it is putting everything together. And so if you really can focus on the multiples at the same time, there are all kinds of things happening at the same time. So as you go to the left, it's certainly going down the left channel. It's also going down the center channel, and it's coming up the right channel. So that's always happening. That kind of complexity is always happening. It's just that when we are learning something, we try to focus on the primary movement because we want to make sure that's really clear and established. But the energy is always moving in both directions. It's never moving in only one. Even when, if you're just doing standing work and you're trying to sink the chi the body can't use into the earth, at the same time there is upward movement of energy. So it's not always easy to say, this is what's happening. Well, that's what we're focusing on that's happening. I cannot attest to knowing this myself, but Bruce says there are over 4,000 channels in the body, which is apparently a Taoist concept, and they're all moving. all the time. So, one of the things is to try to be aware of where you want to focus, and not to get hung up on whatever else is going on. So, when you're doing, since I've mentioned 7, when you're doing 7, you can focus on just down the left and up the right, and down the left and up the right, or you can focus down the center and up the center. They're both going on, but you don't necessarily in the beginning have to be able to direct that movement clearly. You can only work on one at a time.
Right.
I don't know, does that,
I think, yeah, that does, and, yeah, I think we all understand that whatever we're focused on is just part of what's going on, So,
yeah, I'm sure you all do.
Right. I think we intellectually know that, but I'm still challenged by making sure that I remember the bottom half of my body.
Oh,
And I think that, I mean, obviously I have over the years, but sometimes, particularly this last kind of round of focusing, that gets left out.
It is interesting, because like in the 8 gates, like the bottom half, especially you do mountain, you do things there that do it. And I can understand why.
Yeah.
they
help
say
you be
that,
aware, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's true, you have to, we start with the arms because it's much easier to
Yes,
feel
that's right.
in the arms. But eventually we need to feel it throughout the entire
Yes,
body,
yeah,
of
so,
course.
yeah.
Which is why, even when you're focusing on the arm movement, you hopefully are beginning to work on at least doing bending and stretching and twisting and lengthening in the legs, and
Yeah.
moving the energy through the legs ultimately. But that's just part of the physical movement to start with. When we have to start with the physical movement, and then once that's under control, use it to help us develop the energy, the movement of the energy. So, anything for you, Bill?
Well, I limited movement this past week, especially I didn't do 7 at all. I'm having vertigo things, so they're okay today, so
Good.
I probably will be standing up.
Oh, good.
But interesting, I don't feel like I have a whole lot of trouble with my legs in
Oh, good.
feeling rooted. Yeah.
Oh,
That, I mean, I have a palpable sense of that. Where I struggle is, up, from the byway into the etheric body up here. Struggle feeling it, sensing it. Tracing the little nugget up, into the third eye does help, me attend to what's going on up there. So I have more sense of it recently since we've been doing that, but it's still not nearly as strong as what I feel down here or even in the middle down here. So.
but that's really good that you're feeling the lower connection. That's
I'm happy with that.
yeah. We do need eventually to get that upward, since we'd like to have both yin and yang moving through the body.
Yeah.
Carol, anything for you?
Nothing leaps to mind right now.
Okay. no requirement. I just wanted to.
Actually, I was sort of feeling like I'm a fly on the wall, and then I suddenly realized, oh, he's going to ask me.
You're part of our circle too, Carol.
Okay, so one of the things what I want to start with is to have each of you individually do a very short flow. Just really being able to see if there are any gross errors
Oh, God.
that I haven't noticed on Zoom that I can see in person. And this is not meant to be judgmental, so.
No, these are learnings. We
Yeah,
have to,
right.
yeah,
Really,
we have to have thick skin.
So,
Well, as Bill said outside, oh my gosh, you really are three-dimensional.
Right.
Absolutely, I can't tell you, the energy is so different.
Different, we're all on, yeah, little boxes.
Yeah.
So, I really appreciate your being here. So, who would like to go first?
When you say little, how many?
Like
I was thinking 4 reps,
4, okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
because I don't want to take a long time.
No,
for
if we're on our 10th, then yeah, we're kind of like, oh, yeah, we're only on 3. We're only on the
I'd
first
just
two.
like to say, any irregularities you might spot are ones we're throwing in on purpose to see if you're.
Oh, Bill! You can go first.
I'll go first.
Somehow.
Not throwing them in.
That's not convincing, is it?
No.
I've been sitting too much the past 2 days, so I have
What-
this issue with this leg, which has not much feeling in it.
Oh.
So I have to shake it around a little bit.
That's fine. Do you need to
It's going.
walk a little or jump
No.
up and down?
Do I assume he's not as close to that pole as it looks like from here?
Yeah, give yourself.
Yes, he is.
From the
Just as
pole.
close to that pole as it looks like from here.
Right, there's no depth there. Yeah.
that was pretty good.
It's hard to do a short form.
I
Because
know.
I would, and really,
4, I've never done only 4.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
In recovering from sciatica, 4
Oh.
seems sometimes like a good
Seemed like a
number.
lot, yeah,
Yeah,
sure. I
yeah.
have done 6, but 4 is, yeah.
The only thing I would say about 2 is make sure you don't let the midriff collapse. All you're doing is bending the spine and the legs, obviously. But that's very easy to do, and it is really important because that really interferes with the flow of the energy through left, right, and center channels. In 3, you tended to lose the upper part of the circle of the body. So in other words, while you're going here, there still has to be a little rise in the center, and then a sink and an extension and a sink into the 6th position. Okay, so just you've got a pretty oval shape going. You just got kind of flat on top. And the other thing about 3 is that this movement does not need to be here.
oh, okay.
You're really spreading the elbows out. The movement comes from the scapula. Yeah, we're connecting the elbows and the scapula, absolutely, and I put a lot of emphasis on that. But this movement is really an expansion through the whole body.
Okay.
And yes, there is a growth there, and there is a twisting and bending in, and there is a growth here. And keeping the movement going, that's the hard part in 3, one of the hard parts in 3, is our tendency. It's not so bad on the side where we're going down, but sometimes here, they develops a pause.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I think coming up to 12 and knowing that you're gonna have the C curve when you're up,
Yeah.
is a contradiction in some ways. Yeah,
Contradiction in the mind,
Yeah,
it's not
right.
necessarily a
Right.
contradiction in the body.
yeah.
4, I would say only the only thing that I really felt about 4 was that, and you did, one of the things is that, one of the things that gets lost in 4 is that continual bending all the way down, and you were pretty good about that. But what I felt got lost was the awareness here.
Yeah, that's something I'm aware of. I tend to get the twisting all done, and then I'm just flapping my arms up into the air.
Back.
That's right. You've got to reserve some of that,
Right. Yeah.
so that you can get into
Yeah.
that. The transition from 4 to 5, and a better and easier way to do it, I think, is that when you finish get to here on your last 4, begin to condense, and everything gets in, and that allows you to continue that movement, and then be able to go to here. And
that's great.
So you could
That's
start
great.
it with your hands
Yeah, I
closer.
would have
Than
put
that.
that in. I don't have a clue category for me.
Yeah.
To do that transition.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure these are all going to be things for everybody
Right.
else.
Yeah, I'm taking notes in my head here.
And one of the things about 5 is being aware that slight as it may be, that you continue to sink and bend as you come up. And then this eventually you want to go up here.
Okay.
It's not just coming here.
Uh-huh. I think I know that,
Yeah.
but I was feeling just what you said.
and then, but then 6 was pretty good. Dropping, relaxing the shoulders and dropping the elbows as this twists in, and then out, out. Yeah. But that was, yeah, you're not doing badly. You know, those are just refinements.
I do have a question, I guess,
Sure.
because, Bill goes your hands are very high up before they separate, and with 2, I usually do that much lower and think of 5 as the hands separating higher up in our body. Because you're always saying, don't get 2 and 5 mixed up, and I'm like, ooh.
That's right.
Which is important, I understand, they're different, but I guess
They
I'm
are
trying to,
They are different. So, if you feel it, 2 should go higher. Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely. There's no question about that. How deep you go really depends on your body. Um, Paul Cavell, one of Bruce's senior students, actually when he does this, he
Oh,
does it here.
oh my goodness, and really
Yeah.
pulls it up, wow.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
almost on the floor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way down. I can't do, if I do that, I can't do the rest of them.
That's it, there you go. I did 1 of 2.
Call for help.
Right. So it's got to be, you know, every movement has to be correctly proportional to the others, in a way. But yeah, the thing here is you get to this position, and then it begins to expand immediately. And how high you go here really,
Okay.
that depends on what you can do. But this movement
Okay.
does finish somewhere out here. So
Right,
those are
and
that's 2 of the things that are different from
yes,
5.
yes, yeah.
So
I understand
where
that.
you, and the other thing is when you start twisting out
is here.
is down there in 2,
Yeah.
and it's up, and it's when you're,
No,
Up in
in
5.
2. Yes, in 2. Right.
and when it's up, and it's up after you get up to the middle point in 5, right?
It's when you it's when you get the energy up your central channel
Right.
to the top. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what you're trying to get to. Next.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You wanna go next?
I'll go.
I like having all the notes because they go out. Because by then if I'm last, I'm like, I can't remember all that.
So,
Yeah, what's best for everybody?
Carol, yeah,
That
I can see you.
be right on top of you.
You're fine.
that reminds me when I was studying with Master Joe, he didn't like you to take notes during
During class.
class.
Well, that's why I'm glad it's recorded.
But the instant class was over, I was.
Well, I used to bring a notebook all the time to
Oh, yeah.
class for that break, to
Yeah.
write things.
So I'm taking mental notes. I mean,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
thing, I've not been holding the energy in my hands the way you did throughout. I was impressed, you know,
Yeah.
that, you know, that was going on. Not that mine are this way, but, you know,
Yeah.
I'll try not to think about that because it'll interfere with that.
And you won't remember anything else.
Yeah.
That's what practice is for.
Put it in one way.
Okay, that's fine. Good. Be careful in 2 that you don't collapse at the midriff.
Okay.
That's just so easy to do. You really have to be aware of that and focus on the spine stretch, not letting the midriff collapse.
So you feel like people are folding more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 In 3, what's interesting, I noticed sometimes that you pushed out of your weighted leg.
Okay.
When you do that, you've raised yourself up, and it makes it very hard to find that upward curve. And that's not what you're doing anyway, because at this point, your weight should be towards the toes and towards the heel back here, and this movement is coming out of the heel of the back leg, not the toes of the front leg. So that's kind of an important, because that will change what the energy does there. Your movements were pretty good though. That was just kind of a detail. 4, I had a good sense of working into the etheric body. However, when you get to this point, don't bring the arms in here. I'm exaggerating, but recognizing that here you're fully extended as you're going to be in 4.
Yeah.
And where you're aiming towards is here when you get done. So this is
Okay.
coming in all the way down so that you can then go up and all the way out.
Okay. I've been trying to get my arms to go, mainly my forearms to go straight down the channels, and that's
Right, because he's told us to do that now. You know,
Well,
that's up there.
to a certain extent, yes. They should be here when you get to this point. But basic rule is the movement of the energy, the elbow needs to be related to keeping the space in the armpit.
okay.
So if you keep that
Yeah.
elbow
Yeah,
here,
I
I just closed off my armpits entirely.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So no, they
Yeah.
can't do that.
Okay.
And women, of course, have the issue of their breasts, which they have to deal with, which makes their issue really different
Yeah.
from men's. What did I want to say about 5? 5 and 6 were pretty good. I think the only thing I'll say about that is in both of those to make sure that you don't let the body get stuck at the transition points. So in other words,
Okay.
it's you can get to here, and this one's not so bad, but when this one, sometimes we get to here, or we get to here and there's a pause. And we don't want a pause. This movement is just getting the energy from the qua points into the lower dantian, lock, and raise it up, and out, and down.
So keep going.
What?
Keep going.
Keep going, that's right.
You keep going. That's really, and that's critical. That's critical. Every pause that you have interrupts the flow of the energy. It doesn't necessarily stop it, but it interrupts it. So that's important. We'll look at 7 in a bit. In a way, your 7 was pretty good. There were a couple of things I think can really help it. Carol?
Yeah,
Joanna?
yeah, I'll go next.
Oh,
Well, I think I should pass on this because I have to leave exactly at 10.
You want, well, or you
And-
could go next, cause I'm staying.
No, I think I shouldn't go at all this
Okay.
time because
Alright.
I'm here and you can look at me on Zoom anytime.
Well, that's true.
More important to look at people in the flesh here, as it were.
Good point,
And
Carol.
so I hope we get to 7 before I have to leave. So,
Okay, all right,
so
all right.
if you skip me, maybe we will.
Yeah, okay. Here, so she, oh, I guess it's a little further away then.
nice sense of flow. Um, I don't think I have anything really to say about 2. One thing I will say, just for everybody's benefit here, is one thing that I know I mentioned, but it's been a long time ago, and that is that 2 is moving out here, and 4 is moving here, and 5 is moving here, and 6 is moving here. So 6, 5, 4, 2.
Oh, that's helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
In 3 and 4, really try to be careful about not bringing the hands into the center.
You talked about that last week, didn't
I
you?
know, and it's
Even in 4, I'm doing that. Okay.
yeah, it confuses the flow of the
Yeah, no, I understand the problem.
less in 4 than 3.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I felt off on 3, and I realized part of it was I had these clogs on, and
Yeah.
I don't normally practice in the clogs, and so
Yeah.
just to feel the energy in my heel and my toe was totally thrown off because the clog has
Yeah.
got my foot at the wrong level. So I'll have to not ever practice in these again.
Your lesson, part of the lesson.
And part of the lesson,
Yeah.
yeah. I usually do it in bare feet. I just didn't take them off.
The amount of bending and extending in 5, particularly in the legs, is less than 2. And
Oh,
that-
really? Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, so
okay.
that's why in that transition, you're not really sinking. I am sinking and I'm bending my back,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not going very far because I want to be able to go a little bit further. And then notice that all the movement of 5 is away from the body. I don't come in here.
I am really
Come in here. And it's not as big as 2.
I've definitely been reversing that. Yeah.
Yeah. 6, boom.
7, good.
Yeah, we need to work.
We'll all talk about
We need to
7.
work on your 7.
I know that.
So let's go to 7 and let's
Let Carol, yeah.
let's
yeah,
look
she's
at
7.
Carol in 7 or whatever she thinks her issues might be.
Well, I have to leave in 8 minutes, so so let's do 7.
Well, I'm
Yes.
I was trying to get here.
Oh, I'm pretty dark, but
It's okay.
I can see you.
There. Well, so you want to stand up and do a bit of 7?
Yeah.
So maybe do 1 or 2 of 6 beforehand so I can see your transition.
Okay. You see me better there?
Yep, you're lighted better there, yes. So, there's a couple of things that might help. One is the transition into 7, and this is true for
All of us, I'm sure.
not only Carol.
We're all learning.
Yeah, so we get up to this point, and we complete 6, and now there is a movement of coming up and extending the neck,
Mhm.
and then beginning to go into the rotation. So you have to take that time. You have your inhale up and exhale down and inhale, so that you're ready to go into the down movement. Big thing I felt, Carol, is it felt like your neck was pretty frozen through most of the movement, and sometimes leaning to the side. There is no bending of the neck to the side. It does rotate, and it does have an extension back, but it doesn't freeze and only be moved by the spine. Both of them are rotating together. I think those are the big things I would say. Do you have questions?
Um, yeah, well, I don't know that I can formulate questions. I'm clearly unsure of what the head is doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it felt like you were not clear about what the movement of the neck was.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
that,
that's, go ahead.
well, at the beginning, the head goes, what is it? What does it do?
It's
As you
going
start-
into crane neck. Remember we talked about that, not only here, but in the
Oh,
past?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, if I turn sideways here,
Yeah.
what's happening is when you come up to just straight, when then you're going into this, it goes up and a little forward,
Mhm.
so that it opens the back of the neck. It doesn't bend like this, but it opens. And the reason why the whole introduction of this started with working on rotating the neck is that the neck has to have rotation through that whole movement. It's not frozen with the torso.
Mm.
But the neck and the spine need to both rotate together. That was Bill's issue, is that they were separated.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Another question, Carol?
No, that helps a lot. And seeing it from the side helps a lot.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
and it's the recognizing. I mean, I'm doing this sitting down, so you're not getting quite the whole movement. But one of the things is that recognizing that when it goes forward, it doesn't bend down. It's rotating and reaching forward a bit, but it's not, here, I've lost it.
Our body's not moving down, is what you say, or not well, obviously not collapsing.
Body is not collapsing, but it is rotating at the
Yes.
midriff, which is, I mean, this is a movement that's totally different
Yeah,
from
no, there's
any-
nothing to hang this on.
No.
It's nothing to say.
Itself.
You remember when we studied, oh, no, except for crane's neck.
You hang it on itself. Yeah.
Okay, and the head doesn't do any side to side stuff
It doesn't bend to the side.
and to the side.
Body
It
bends.
rotates to the side. Yes. But it doesn't, the rotation, you have to not overdo that. So it is not rotating way to the side because that disconnects to the spine. So it has to be a rotation that is appropriate for the neck and connects to the spine.
Yeah, I think when I realize, oh, my head isn't moving, you know, my I need to move my head more, and then I do this more rolling kind of thing
Yeah.
that isn't it.
It is a difficult movement.
Yeah,
Um, I'm probably doing it better than you guys, but I'm still learning this movement. Still feeling that I really have the whole thing, you know.
okay, yes, that.
Good, thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and I've got to.
I know you have to run.
I have to run.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we should practice this here. We're not like needing to end at 10, right? 'Cause I know
No,
you're
we're
running
gonna-
out.
We're obviously going over here.
I
but-
made, yeah, no, me too.
So, Bill, you're standing up. So, I would suggest doing 1 or 2 of 6, just so you are able to go into the transition.
Okay.
No.
No.
So, what you did was go up to here, get to this point, and start going. That was not what I just did with Carol.
Okay.
So, when you get to this point, you're down. You now have the opportunity to extend, and then begin to go into the rotation. So, it takes time.
It does, yeah.
Don't rush. Because
Yeah.
they're just
Good.
immediately
You start off on the wrong,
yes,
on the wrong neck.
on the wrong neck. You got it. You have had no opportunity to do the crane's neck.
Yeah.
think the big thing I would say at this point is relax.
Yeah, I had stopped breathing.
Yeah, that was the feeling I had. And let your arms rotate with the movement. So that's better, but it still feels stiff.
Yeah, it feels stiff inside too.
Yeah,
Feels stiff, like on your shoulders look stiff, and that goes down to your hands.
It's,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
it does. So all of this needs to relax
right.
Breathe, that
in
will
the
help.
neck and breathe. And breathe. Breathing is a big help.
I did, although I was pretty bad at that just now. Tension up here.
Definitely better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I know what's wrong internally, so
Good.
I think I'll be able to practice it better, so.
Good. Bill? Oh,
Yeah.
is that possible for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's interesting. We're so used to bending and turning our head to do whatever we need to do.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
it-
yeah,
it's
yeah.
this way, and so here, there's rotating, but no turning.
No.
And no bending, and that, my initial instinct is then to hold it stiff.
Yep.
Yes,
And of course,
right.
that's the wrong idea too.
Yes, it is.
Right,
Right,
yeah.
right, yeah.
That's exactly, yeah,
Right, now those are, yeah, let's go to the natural inclinations first.
So,
yeah.
anyway. Oh, I'm doing 6, okay.
That's fine. Do one or two.
Yeah,
Six.
I
Yeah.
was going for 2.
Remember, going starting on, yeah.
Oh.
Going to start
Oh.
from the
Yeah,
beginning.
from the
A
start.
little much.
Take it from the top.
My arm's doing that.
Okay. So I think the big thing to start with is getting the crane neck right. Because you did a little bit of an extension, but I didn't feel like as you finished 6 that head went up and a little bit forward. So it's not here, it's here. And that extension has to be held all the way through, and it's not rigid, it's rotating. And don't let yourself get too much shift of the weight into it, because you're just rotating here. There is obviously, because the weight of your body is moving through a small circle, you're going to get a little bit of change of pressure from side to side, but it's not a weight shift. Okay. Yeah. And fluidity, of course, is what you're looking for here. And relaxation, as would,
Yeah.
and the rotation of your arms is not necessarily going to be huge. I mean, I could let it be more. I mean, I could make it more, but that would be forcing it. But it needs to be there because you're getting that twisting and eventually spiraling throughout the whole body. Yeah. Do you have other questions?
No. I think I know what to work on.
Okay.
I think we're all stiff because we're struggling.
Yeah.
It's just a natural kind of reaction. Okay,
Yeah.
wait, my head in the right place, and now I have to move this, and oh my God, my hands, and somehow rather than relaxing into that, we stiffen, which of
Yeah.
course is the exact opposite of what we should be doing, but I think it's a
Right.
natural reaction to
Yeah.
lack of knowledge.
Uh-oh.
And
Well,
She's got her claws.
I have my little hospital socks. I like these so much. My daughter actually bought me hospital socks for Christmas. I didn't think you could buy them.
Oh,
I was just
really?
like, every time I go for the colonoscopy, I'm like, I want the socks, please. And they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I wear these socks.
Well, we've got 'em all
They got a
over the
little
house.
grip, and they're warm for they're not midwinter warm, but they're good for this.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, those are throwing me off. I'm gonna get out here just so I can see myself and how bad I do it when you correct me. No, I hope not.
That may not be
I know.
bad at all.
Maybe not.
Okay. So, stiff.
Stiff.
And relax the neck and let it move.
Let the neck.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do what you were doing.
Well, you don't have to. I'll watch myself.
Oh, that's true. You
I mean,
do
I
it.
can feel it. I think what I'm trying to do is trying to keep that connection there. So that's
Yeah.
making me too stiff.
And I understand
But my goal. My goal's
what
okay.
you're saying. But the problem was you got the extension, but then everything was very stiff
Yeah.
together. It didn't, there wasn't that fluidity.
Mm.
Let the head move. It does move. It does move. The neck does move. It does rotate in this. And that's why, if you go back in the videos, the very first thing we did was work on finding crane neck and
Yeah.
rotating the neck.
Yeah.
And keeping a hold of that. And learning to do it and relax.
Mm-hmm.
Because our tendency, as soon as you go to crane neck, our tendency is to overdo it,
Yeah.
and everything tightens through the whole body.
And then it's like a as I think,
And then
but
it's
it's like a
stuck.
little, yeah. stuck the box, this is a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
the bobblehead,
Yeah.
not bobblehead. Okay.
Yeah, so when you're, so you get to crane neck, so I've got a little tilt here, it's like a bow in the middle,
Mhm.
the way I'm thinking about it. So then, as we go back, you know, cause we're holding that still here at the very base
Yeah.
of the spine, and then, you know, we're sort of taking the top and sort of twisting it
Yeah.
so that it all twists all around, but you're saying we're maintaining the crane neck
Yep.
throughout.
Absolutely.
And that's the contradiction, because I think the crane neck, okay, I'm in crane neck, and I can be relaxed in crane neck, but when I start moving, I feel like the crane neck's, you know, I'm trying to keep the crane neck, then it becomes
Right, yeah,
stiffer.
exactly, exactly.
So that is an issue.
Yeah.
I think, certainly I felt it too, is that finding the crane neck, but keeping it relaxed enough
Right.
that as you're doing this, it can also rotate.
Mm.
And it doesn't have to do a lot, but it is rotating.
It's not just the body rotating it.
Yeah, it's not just the body.
Because I feel like when I'm going back, at least the way I'm practicing now, I feel like I'm almost losing the crane neck.
Yeah, and that's easy to do. So because when it goes and the going back part is really important, because it's very easy to get here and then bend the neck back.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've just cut off the flow of the energy through the neck.
Yeah, and when you bend the neck back, the small of the back area goes forward,
Right.
which
You lose-
destroys the whole thing at the bottom. And
Yeah, see, I'm doing that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So when the crane neck goes back, it's it's a small movement, and you're a small amount back, and it is simply to get that backward part of the stretch.
But when we
But
go
we're
back,
not actually opening all of the front of the spine.
Oh, yeah.
When we.
Well-
I mean, another way that I've thought about it, forgetting about the crane neck for a minute, is sort of closing the sides of the vertebrae, then having that going, closing at the front, closing at the sides, and opening at the opposite side.
Yeah, you can think of that. Also,
I would never have thought about that.
also, you're opening the back of the spine, and now you're opening the front of the spine, which is probably a more important connection.
So then rather than, I guess Bill, I've been doing the same thing in terms of, I think, collapsing the curvature here, right? It's really more going back, this thing going back on my heels. I feel like I've been kind of almost like, you know, slumping into it.
There's a slight shift
A
towards,
slight shift, not, yeah, but just.
but you're not bending the body back. The body simply goes up to vertical as the neck goes back.
Yeah, okay.
It
Yeah.
reaches up and
Oh,
back.
okay, but
It's-
not going, yeah, I think I've
It's
been,
not
I'm trying to,
bending
I'm not
back.
bending, yeah. But if it doesn't bend back, that's where some other part of your body tries to make up for that. And that has been the small of my back.
I'm just doing something here. I put my hand with my little finger up at the occiput,
Yeah.
and if I maintain crane neck, the little finger doesn't move, but as soon as I bend at all,
Yeah.
or lift my head, it pushes on the little finger
Uh-huh. Good.
and tells me that I'm
So
off.
You're-
So maybe that's a little
That-
help.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one. I hadn't run into that. That's good. I have one other thing that I would say is with the beginning of everything, including this practice. Is I did a whole talk yesterday with Bill and Jeff about the value of just standing before you begin to move. And actually allowing yourself to arrive at Wuji and then transition to Tai Chi. And that, learning to do that, you can stand for a long time and before you really feel like you arrive there. Or you may do it very quickly. But it's really, I highly recommend playing a bit with that, because that's a practice that you probably can't do every day, because it might take you 5, 10, 15 minutes or more
Get into it, really, yeah.
to arrive at starting.
Yep.
But it changes everything, because you're in a different place. You're
Right.
present. And the other thing I want to say is that when you begin, everything begins with whole body movement. Master Joe's turning in his grave when he sees somebody do something without whole body movement. So, and we want to get to base level to begin what we're doing. So the first movement is getting to base level on one foot. And the second part of the movement is to move the foot out and then come to center. So there is rotation through that whole movement. And then you're ready to begin. I mean, you can go right into it, because you got everything working together and flowing together. When you just put your foot out, you're cheating yourself.
Right.
So you might think about that too. That's another piece. So.
I hadn't thought about this, this is just an observation, until practicing in here, but just as when we're ending and a female has the hand in, it's like, oh, look at Bill, he's doing it different. Because you don't see that on Zoom. Or I didn't know, because I'm not really looking at you all while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I noticed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, sure. That's why I do it different. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you notice, that's true in the postures where I cross the wrist. You know,
Yes. Yep.
When you come here for 6,
Yep.
the right is outside.
Yeah.
That's just built into my structure.
Right.
That's just
And
what
it's
I
built
do.
into mine too, though, clearly.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Good.
in a different way. Yeah. I just hadn't. It's so built in, I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
I just practiced for 23 years. That's kind of what the hand. Yeah.
So, other questions at the moment? This has been great.
Indeed.
I love having people here.
Well,
I
mean,
do have people here from time to time, but
but I think we can. For me, it's. I know it's. Carol could get here and you can't. How far away are you?
oh,
20 minutes.
Oh, you're
25
closer than me.
minutes,
I'm
yeah.
almost
Yeah.
35, depending on
yeah.
school buses and one-way tree limb cuttings and
Yeah,
all
I've
the
got
things
my
I run
challenges
into.
too, but on a
But that's not
good
too
day.
bad. I mean, I can come more. Yeah, not every Wednesday, but we could. Yeah, I'm fine as long as we plan a little ahead. I can.
Yeah. When you're on Zoom, it is helpful if people are in the camera view who were participating. in
Yeah.
Right, when
them.
Adam was here
Yeah.
at times, it was very helpful
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
to have that extra, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm fine with trying, yeah, cause it is nice, especially cause we won't be doing this forever, might as well do it together when we can,
Yeah.
you know, I'm up for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, get out of my porch, cause coming winter, I'm gonna be happy to not be in front of that thing all the, you know,
Yeah.
oh God. Back to everybody's on Zoom again because of the weather.
Yeah, there's that.
It is nice.
You must have been up early this morning,
We
Bill.
were up early, yeah, but it wasn't hard, I don't know, when I'm in a strange room, it's not hard to get up early, cause I'm.
It's not like you're home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right, you
right,
can't
right,
turn
right.
over and say, oh, can't just go back to
Get
sleep.
up and get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there wasn't too much traffic.
Getting here, well,
Well,
you know,
you had to go to
because I'm
Middletown.
on 90 and Niantic, so
But didn't
there's
you
the
say you had to go to
95
Middletown
craziness.
to bring
I
Madeline?
had to go to
Yeah.
Middletown. So there's a little stretch of 95 craziness, then you get on Route 9, which is fine, and come up that way. And of course, they changed all the exit numbers and everything.
Yeah, right.
Everything's familiar but different. So,
It's true.
yeah.
Down to the mileage.
They had a big crash on 91 this morning
Oh, no,
in
did they?
Middletown that apparently was causing problems earlier. And I
Oh.
was worried that
Oh,
might.
really? I saw, you know, you get that little glimpse of 9 heading on up, and we're getting off at South Main Street
Yeah.
in Middletown.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was something going
So
on.
you
on
can
Route
tell
9 there.
My daughter had her neck surgery at Middletown at the hospital there, and there was an accident, and so she and her husband
Yeah.
were trying to come in one way, and we were trying. You know, it's just like and then downtown is just. We could not literally get through Main Street.
Yeah,
It took
downtown
forever, and
Middletown
but
is-
everybody's
yeah.
trying to get over on
Yeah,
66.
downtown Middletown is very fragile.
Yes.
Traffic wise,
It's a way to put
there's
it.
very little room for error.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It's not built
thank
for a
you.
whole lot of traffic even on a good day.
No,
so-
and it's a wide street though. It's wide.
It's
There's
a wide
lot of
street,
downtowns,
you know,
but there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could do this, Bill.
Oh,
That-
I am too, it's wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
And I hope you have a lovely week on the Cape.
we will, and that is one of the best places to practice Tai Chi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
near
I'll
the
bet. And
ocean
you're way
there.
out, right? Are you over in Truro? Where are you?
Provincetown, it's out in the
Dune.
dunes on the, where it's bending across, so.
Yep.
So there's a place where you can watch the sunrise and the sunset
Oh,
on
I
the
haven't been
water
out
in
there
the
in
same spot and stuff like
Wow.
that.
Decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
we love it out there, that's our favorite part of the Cape, and you're out there and you're.
middle of nowhere, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you can't, where the cabin is, you can't see another place around, it's all sand dunes and stuff, and, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And when does that start?
Saturday, so we have to we're gonna spend, I guess, 2 more nights here, see people around here. We'll go to Hyannis and spend the night Saturday, and then Friday night, and then we're gonna
Head out.
go up to
So by then, most
Snail
of the
Run
rain
and
should be gone.
Provincetown, yeah.
Do want to hit those fall storms.
Well, that's the wild card when you sign up for this in the summertime, and you get
Yeah.
Friends got a
there
cheap.
could be a hurricane. We were out there one time when it wasn't a full-blown hurricane, but it was like the edge of one, and
Did you have to
the
leave?
roof was, no, but the cabin was shaking. They're up on these little
God.
posts, and water's coming in through the windows, which are not exactly
Not really, yeah,
watertight. They're
yeah.
rattly, and
Wow.
old things. So,
Exciting.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, well it's one.
yeah,
But there's a lot of those stories, yeah, of
Yeah.
people being evacuated at the last minute
Yeah.
or.
yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
try to keep the fire going and stay warm and pretend like you're relaxed and not worrying about the cabin tipping over.
At least you'll go happy.
Yeah. That's good.
That's
Good.
great. Good.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad the bridge was open today, Bill.
Yeah,
Oh, it was open today.
it is, yeah, both
Oh,
ways.
it was-
Oh,
Not supposed to be, but it
Yeah.
was.
yeah,
So,
because I had read
you
about it
can-
last
you
week
can-
and it was supposed to be closed.
You know, you have to go back to Middletown?
Yeah, so
You
that's the
should
way
be
to go.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay, good.
Oh, yeah, and you get to go through the construction of the 2 roundabouts.
Yeah,
Oh, that's where 80,
you know,
where
it's-
85 cuts over.
They
No,
don't
I
have
just went
anything
across
closed
Portland
down
and
right
then
now,
avoided
but,
everything.
you know, it'll be interesting from Tylerville to the connector.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll see what's going on.
yeah. There were signs on the highway that I didn't read closely that said there was construction delays and stuff at that exit.
Yeah, those are probably
Maybe-
referring to the bridge,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I just, from where I just did, what is it, 16 to 66 over
Yeah.
from where I am, which is easy.
Mhm.
Good.
good.
Thanks.
You know,
No
I'm
one
looking
wants
at
to
those
leave.
pictures on the wall. I'd like somebody to take a picture of me with David before he leaves.
I'll do that.
Sure,
Right.
do you want
I
to
will
stop
picture
the
like that.
recording for now?
I do.
Oh,
know,
Jen,
thank you.
it's
stop.
the 2-hour one.
Yeah, really, you need to listen to, I mean, if you want to talk about the Cape, we can all talk about the Cape probably.
No,